What is up, fam? Hey, this is PC. Welcome back to the Green Room podcast series, Kids These Days. Hope everybody is doing well. It is the end of May, which means it's summertime. Actually, no. Look, that's how confused I am. It's so crazy right now. We're actually in June already, which also means that it's summertime. And so a lot of schools I know are already out. Other schools are finishing up and wrapping up. And so hope everybody's doing well and hope you have some time for you planned, whether it's going to a beach or just sitting on your back porch and drinking coffee, just something that you can do just to relax and regroup and rejuvenate after the school year. I am super excited today. Our guest today, for the very first time, we are going outside of the United States. We're going to Canada, and just an absolute rock star student leader from Kennebecasis Valley High School, which is in Quispamsis, New Brunswick. For those of you that aren't up to date on your Canadian geography or didn't pay enough attention in history class, maybe like myself, New Brunswick is on the eastern side of Canada. They're actually in the Atlantic time zone, which I thought was interesting. So they're an hour ahead of the eastern time zone in the state. So New York and Boston and Orlando, another hour ahead of that. And so their rock star teacher there, Melissa Wright, I always have to think about, all right, it's this time in New York. That means it's another hour ahead for Melissa. And so today we're joined by one of her rock star student leaders, Abby Jones. I had the opportunity to get to meet Abby and listen to Abby talk here a couple of months ago. Their school is a Diamond School of Distinction for Jocelyn's Renaissance this year. And Abby was one of the student leaders on their student committee. And so super excited to have Abby on the show today. Abby, how you doing?
I'm doing great, PC. How are you?
I am doing awesome. I'm so excited to get the chance to reconnect with you and just to share your passion and your energy with the audience. And so I would love if you just start out with talking about yourself and who are you? What grade are you in? What are some of the things that you're involved in? What do you like to do?
Alrighty. Well, I'm in grade 11, and one more week I'll be a senior, so that's so exciting. And I'm involved with a lot inside of my school, like our school's rugby team. This is my second year being a captain of the school rugby team. It is my absolute favorite place to be. I love it so much. I just love it so much. It's my favorite thing. Unfortunately, our season did just end, but I had the best time with my girls, and I always look forward to being with them again. And I am also inside the school. I'm a part of the Renaissance team, as PC mentioned, and I'm a senior editor of our yearbook team. I also like to help tutor some students in math, which isn't always my strong suit, but we do figure it out. And I'm also pretty busy outside of school too. I have two jobs. And I work almost every day or every other day as much as I can. I love my jobs. I love working. And I also help coach and ref rookie rugby. I'm very busy.
Holy cow, I was going to say, like, when do you sleep? When do you find time to breathe during all that? That's a lot of stuff going on. So let's talk first. I would love to hear about the two jobs that you're working. Like, what do you do?
This past summer, I was hired to work full time at this place called the Window Shop. They don't just sell windows; they do windows, siding, kitchen, skylights, so many different things. Um, but I was hired there to work on a more digital side of their business because they really had no digital side. They were very in the stone ages. So I worked with a team there for a few months in the summer, worked with something called a CRM, customer relationships management, and I became very well versed in that. They treated me very well over there. And then school came and my time there ended, and I didn't have a job for a little while. And then eventually I got hired at Bar Burrito. I love it so much. It's a chain restaurant in Canada. We have over 200 locations and I love my job. I'm there at least 20 hours a week. And then my old job at the window shop called me back and said they would love to have me there as a CRM consultant. So now I'm doing both of those.
My gosh, yes. Like, that's like an adult. You're like an adult right now, working multiple jobs on top of school and all the other extracurricular things that you're involved in. Let's go back to the rugby piece, right? And I don't claim to be a rugby expert by any stretch of the imagination, other than to say, like, I watch those games sometimes on TV, and I'm like, these people are a little bit different. Like, you have to be a little bit crazy. Like, it's basically football, but without the pads on, right?
That's
Um,
pretty
uh,
much it.
how did you get involved with rugby? How bad does it hurt? Like, tell me all the things.
Well, when you think of rugby, you think of the aggressiveness a lot of time, and apparently I match that description. In grade 9, a few friends told me that I had to go try out for rugby. I had to go try out. In my grade 9 year, there were so many girls there trying out. I was so lucky to be picked to be part of the team. It was insane to me. I would probably was like this close to being cut from the team. I had never done a sport before at that point. I was quite not athletic. But anyways, my coach really she took a chance with me and I started to learn and develop. I was still this scrawny little grade 9 kid, no idea what I'm doing, but I got better and I had so much respect for my coaches. They're half the reason why I play. And then in grade 10, my second year ever playing rugby, they asked me to be a junior captain, which was so crazy to me. I love leading people. I love my sport, and combining that into two is just it was perfect for me. And I was fortunate enough to be a captain again this year. And yeah, it hurts a lot. There's a lot of broken bones sometimes. We just had a girl break her nose, broken legs. I'm fortunate, knock on wood, that I haven't broken anything yet, but I'm always covered in bruises, and they are my favorite part of rugby. I'm so happy for the summer that I get to wear shorts to show off my little battle scars. It's my favorite thing. I love making tackles. That's something that I really struggled with because it's all a mindset, really. And this year, I finally just jumped over that hurdle and I made some huge tackles. I even have my own specialty now, which is called a shoestring tackle. You don't want that to happen to you. Let's say I tackle you and then I'm on the ground and maybe didn't fully go down. I can grab your ankles and help you go down.
Gosh, like my body hurts just listening to you talk about all of this stuff right now. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, but it's so cool. Like, kudos to you for doing that. I would love to be able to watch, watch you play sometime, and maybe that'll work out. We'll just have to see. But that is so cool. So let's talk then about sports and some of the differences or similarities from schools in the States versus schools in Canada. In the States, like, football is king, right? Friday night lights. And then, of course, basketball is usually a pretty big deal as well. What are the big sports? What are the big things that you guys do there in Canada?
I would say the biggest one is definitely hockey. We have a really good girls hockey team and a really good boys team. They are so dedicated to that. We also do have a pretty good football team. We have something called like the football home opener is the first big event of every school year and everyone goes to the football home opener. That's the only sport game a lot of people will ever go to, but it's big and everyone goes there. No one watches the game, really. They're just there to socialize. But yeah, we have a lot of different tournaments because we have a really great athletic department here, and we try to incorporate a lot of different sports. Like what I've noticed in rugby, especially being girls rugby, is it can be a little underappreciated at times, but a lot of different schools host lots of different tournaments for lots of different sports. We have Rip Sealy, which is a huge basketball tournament. We have Rugby Fest, which is a huge rugby tournament like in Canada that's hosted right here in town that schools from all over Canada come to play. We have many different hockey tournaments. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to get involved and a lot of great representation.
That's so cool. And the hockey piece, of course, like that's kind of a
Yeah,
no-brainer. And
Canada,
that's
eh?
grown in popularity so much in the States as well. But I know, like, yeah, right, Canada, eh? How big of a deal that hockey is there. Talk about from a travel perspective, like what's the furthest that you go? Do you leave the province to play other teams with rugby, or how does that work?
Not typically. Like the way things are done, at least at my level, is there's double A and triple A schools. It's determined by the schools, by the people who run Rugby New Brunswick. And we're lucky to be a triple A school. Triple A is technically above double A. So you can consider that a bit more varsity and maybe a bit more junior varsity be double A. Um, so because it's like you're competing for the title of champion for New Brunswick, you mainly just stay around New Brunswick. We were fortunate enough this year that a lot of teams from like Fredericton and even our St. John team, St. Stephen, they came to us because we have a really great field. But of course, it's fair. We have to do a little bit of traveling. So think the farthest we traveled is about an hour and a half to Fredericton. And some schools have to travel for almost every game, but it does stay within the province.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. And I think that's kind of similar too to the states. Like if you're on the border between states, and yeah, sometimes when I was in Tennessee coaching baseball, sometimes we would go to Kentucky to play different schools because we were just right there, right? But primarily, you stayed, within the boundaries of your own state there. Let's talk about another one of the differences that I'm aware of between the states and Canada is specifically in high school. In the states, we call it freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year. In Canada, it's grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, grade 12. What about post secondary? And so after you graduate high school, in the States, there's a lot of, I'm going to call it pressure, I guess, on kids to like, we're going to go to a university, you're going to go to a 4 year school, or you're going to go to maybe a junior college, community college. What are the opportunities for you there?
Opportunities, we have a really great guidance department, at least here that I know of. But a lot of these opportunities I'm going to speak of, I know for a fact that they're implemented in a lot of different schools. There's a program called the NB TAP program, which focuses a lot more on trade aspects. So in the summer, you can get yourself a job in the trades and almost like an apprenticeship, and you get to learn, you get to make a little cash. And again, that's an alternate path to take after high school. But we have a career fair, sort of like a career fair. Like, our police department comes and they try to recruit people. We have the military there. We have a lot of great options for how to get in the military, and we have a lot of different universities that come and preach because that is a genuine path a lot of people take. Majority of our students do take a university path just because that is the norm. But obviously, we want students to understand that that doesn't have to be your norm. So trades are very popular at our school. And another way that students get exposed to that is we have a lot of different shop courses. We have students that are literally building a shed, a whole shed to sell. It's honestly incredible. I don't know if I could do that. I mean, if I put my mind to it, I could, but that's just not my kind of skills. But it's a lot of student skills that they really, really do enjoy. And as well, we have a wonderful co op program. So a lot of students will go and work kind of within the military or maybe with the police or maybe with nursing homes and getting exposed to a lot of different aspects of careers that they could take after high school.
That's so cool. So all kinds of different opportunities, for different interests and the path that different people want to go down. So very similar to the States from that regard. If I was coming to Canada for the first time and you were like a tour guide or a travel agent and you're like, you have to go to these cities, these places, what are the must see places that you have to go when you come visit?
I wish I had done a little bit more traveling. I haven't done a whole lot of traveling, but where I have been, I've been to Halifax. I went there was a science program I got accepted to at a university there, and I spent a week there in Halifax, and it was beautiful. Quick fact about Halifax is I was at a police station doing a tour there for this science program, and it was almost noon, almost time for lunch, and then suddenly a bomb goes off, and I almost hit the deck. So turns out in Halifax, every day at noon, a cannon goes off. No one told me that, but that's a bit of a surprise. So if you'd like to go to Halifax, they have great malls, great destinations, a lot of places to visit, and you get to hear a cannon as well
That's
as
crazy.
yeah.
Yes, I would have probably hit the deck too because 'cause you're like, "What in the world? Like, what is going on right now?" Oh my gosh. Alright, so then let's flip the script. For you, if you were coming to the States, like, what are the cities that you think about where you're like, "Man, I would love to go t here and here and here." What are the things that pop into your head?
Honestly, the states, like, it's so huge. There's 50 states. There's so much to explore. I don't know how I can choose. Um, but I hear a lot things like Florida. That's just a common name, like in TV, whenever it's people talk about the states, it's almost always Florida or New York. Just purely because I hear a little bit about it and I hear it's fun, so I just want to explore.
Totally, absolutely. No, I agree, and it's interesting because, of course, I travel a ton and just watching people and, a lot of times you can tell when people are here from other countries and just the places. Yeah, there's a lot of people in Orlando because they want to go to Disney World. There's a lot of people in New York City because you hear all about all the attractions and all the things to see. Los Angeles, California, that's another place too. So no, it's always just interesting to hear the different perspectives. So let's shift gears now to Jocelyn's Renaissance. And first, I would love to hear from you. How did you get involved with the Renaissance? What made you want to be a part of the Renaissance team there at Kennebecasis Valley High School?
Well, something that the Renaissance team does, I was in my grade 9 year, and they handed out these pamphlets that had all these different clubs for that KV my school offered. And I went home. I remember I bought a whiteboard and I wrote down all the clubs and I circled all the ones I was going to do. I must have picked about 15 clubs. I don't know who I was trying to be. Um, and I remember seeing the word Renaissance and I was so confused. I'm like, do they study art from the Renaissance period? That's all I thought that was. It took me a while to actually understand what Renaissance is, and I don't know if Renaissance can even be described in, like, a word or a sentence. It's so much, like, leadership, commitment, student involvement, student life, there's so many different aspects of it. So, I heard those kinda eventually after I got over the art thing, I heard there's a little bit like a leadership kind of team, and I knew that eventually I wanted to be part of my school's leadership team. So I joined it and I learned that they do a lot of really cool stuff that I didn't know. Like so many things happen, like our perfect attendance breakfast. Obviously, like I've attended it and I've enjoyed it, but I never actually thought about what happens in the background. Who actually does that? Who runs that? Who takes care of it? I never thought about that until I was a part of the team and taking care of those kind of events.
A lot of details, right? A lot of behind the scenes thing and planning and all the things that go into making those things happen. And so I talked about it in the intro, but let's go a little bit deeper into it now. You guys are one of 5 schools in the world to be named a Diamond School of Distinction from Jocelyn's Renaissance, which means that you've been doing this at a really, really high level for 5 years in a row. Talk about what that award, about what that recognition means to you and to your fellow teammates that are on the Renaissance team as well.
To our team and to myself, it means a lot. It is huge. But I don't think a whole lot of people actually understand all the work it took to get here. Like, we made a post about being a diamond school. We got that uploaded, put on the announcements, but I still don't think people understand the full effect of it. I don't even know if I understand the full effect of it because it is huge. 5 years working with dedication. The amount of dedication Miss Wright has is absolutely insane. I admire it so much. Same with Miss Fulkin. She's an EA that helps run it as well. And the amount of dedication is wow, to do that for 5 years, but it took a lot of planning, a lot of time, and commitment is huge. And to be one of 5 schools in the world to earn that level of commitment, I'm very excited to see how many schools following us will get this because it's a really good incentive because all schools should want to be a diamond school, should want to be the best that they can be.
I love it so much, and it's just again, congratulations! Like it's a huge, huge honor, and recognition and accomplishment and all the things. Because yeah, to your point, it does take work. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of involvement and investment from students, from staff members. You talked about Miss Wright and Miss Falcons. They're like just awesome, awesome rock star educators to help lead you. But then it takes the student leaders like yourself to buy into the messaging and into all the great things that you're doing and to help to execute with all those ideas. And so, speaking of ideas, let's transition now into let's talk first about student recognition ideas. And you guys do a million things, and I see it all on social media, and I love all of it. But I would love to hear your 2 or maybe 3 favorite things that you guys do there from a student recognition perspective.
One of my personal favorites, because 'cause I'm a hungry person, is our perfect attendance breakfast. Something I'd like to point out for that is it resets every quarter. So instead of having our school year just broken into 2 semesters, we also have it broken in quarters. So there's 4 quarters in a school year, just like 4 quarters of a dollar. And you have 4 chances to attend this perfect attendance breakfast. I know some students that came to one and they were so excited that they tried so hard next quarter. And I know some students who got it for all 4 quarters, and that is incredible. Just because you get to come in the morning, you get a juice box, you get a free breakfast sandwich from McDonald's. You have a few different variety options, and you get something called a Katie Quick Pass. So our box mac and cheese craft dinner, there's a church that's right up the road. They're very generous. Every single Wednesday, they offer free KD for the students and staff at KV, which is crazy. But our students go so wild for it that having the opportunity to leave class 5 minutes early with a KD Quick Pass, sign me up. And some more student recognition we do. Obviously, the perfect attendance takes a little bit of planning, takes a bit of setup, but something else we do is an academic excellence board, which is displayed in the lobby. So teachers have the chance to nominate students. So it's not always the students that get 100% on every test, that have 100% in every class. It's students that teachers nominate because they're genuinely trying in school. It's because they have academic excellence, they have academic achievement. Maybe it's not 100, maybe it's a 90, maybe it's an 85 when it's their first 85 ever. So there's a lot of different room for different students to get nominated for that. And every student's accepted that a teacher sends. We don't say, no, that student doesn't qualify. If a teacher feels that the student won, they won. So we have a different board for each month. Like sometimes we have apples and trees and butterflies, depending on the month, or raindrops maybe. And on the little icon token item that we decide the theme is, we write the student's name on it, and it gets pinned to our academic excellence board. So students can walk by and see, find their names, try to figure out what teacher nominated them. And something that we started doing this year, which was an absolutely incredible idea, even though that this board is displayed right in the main lobby that every single student walks past, sometimes students have their head in their phones and they don't always notice it. So if a student looks on the board, finds their name, and takes a picture of it and sends it to Miss Wright, then they can enter to win a draw for a gift card. It's something that doesn't take a whole lot of work on our part. We just have to cut out the shapes, really. And Miss Wright has to answer a million Teams messages. But it doesn't have a huge amount of workload for us, but it's something that students really love. Because again, every single month it resets, and some students can be on there for a million months in a row. And some students having that, maybe they don't always get recognized for having the perfect grades, but having like genuine commitment, trying to get your academics better, or having like at that point where a teacher recognizes you and then seeing that every single day when you walk by, I love it. It's awesome.
Make makes all the difference in the world, right? We all love to see our name, right? We all love to get that pat on the back and say, "Hey, good job. I see what you're doing and I appreciate it, and you're doing awesome." And I love too your point that you made about everybody has the chance. It's not just the upper level academic kids, right? And you said, if they made an 85, but it was the first time they've ever made an 85. Like that's a huge deal in that kid's life. And so I love that they can be recognized, and then being able to take the picture and submit that. It's just another layer. It's just another way
Yeah,
to
exactly.
reinforce, and to get people to look at that recognition and take note of it. So I love all of that. Let's shift now to your staff recognition. And again, you guys do a ton of things for your staff members there. How about a couple of your favorites that you do for your staff?
All right, I got to talk about my all-time favorite. This one probably has some of the least amount of effort on our part, but has the biggest impact on our staff. We do something every single month called a tireless staff award. And what it is, we have our shop teacher gave us a tire, and it's painted blue. And each month, the previous teacher that won it selects a new teacher to win the Tireless Staff Award. And there's this huge, beautiful write up that I get to read on the announcements for the teacher. And we try to save it, had be a surprise until the very end of this little write up. And then they get to have their beautiful blue tire displayed in their classroom for that whole month. And it's a really big deal for our teachers. They get a certificate, a copy of the write up, a little flag, and they love it so much. I've seen some cry when they receive it. It is a huge deal. And all we have to do is roll a tire in the room. But it has such a huge impact. That one is definitely my personal favorite. A second favorite is our thank a staff member, because when I thought of thank a staff member, I'm like, oh, I really hope a few of my teachers get one. Oh, maybe I'll write them just to make sure they have one. Well, last Thursday, we sorted our thank a staff member. They're the little sheets of paper that students got to fill out and thank a staff member. Some people even thanked our cafeteria ladies, which was beautiful. Janitors, bus drivers, everyone gets a thank you. And when I tell you, there were hundreds of them. My favorite teacher, I wrote her a long paragraph how much I appreciate her. And I'm like, I really hope she gets a lot. She got a stack this thick. And some teachers got huge stacks, but some people that maybe you don't appreciate as much as you should, or maybe you don't think of as often, I see them getting thank a staff members from students who are seeing and appreciating them. And that makes me think they deserve that. And I love it. And also, some of our staff members thank a staff member as well. They also have the opportunity to do that in our weekly newsletter so all the staff member can see it. But with our little thank the staff member cards, students and staff wrote thank a staff member to all of our staff, and that was beautiful to see.
That's so cool. Like, yes, that's awesome. Because again, everybody loves recognition. Everybody loves to be appreciated and to feel valued, right? Whether it's a teacher, whether it's a principal, whether it's the bus driver, the custodian, like we all want to feel accepted, like we're a part of the fabric of our school's community. So, what an awesome, awesome idea. Another cool thing that you guys do that I would love to hear you explain is called Kiss a Grad Goodbye. And I know that's for your grade 12s as they're leaving. Talk a little bit about that and what happens with that.
Yes, I I must have spent like $10 on Kids of Grad Goodbyes. I gave it to 10 grads because I love all my grads so much. I gave one to every grad on my girls rugby team, some friends that I love. Oh, I wish I could have bought more, but it's $1 per Kiss a Grad. And we have a little stand set outside. I was lucky enough to run that stand one day. And we have little slips that say Kiss a Grad Goodbye. You get to write who it's to, who it's from, maybe a little message, and put their homeroom or well, technically it's just our first period because we don't really have homeroom or advisor anymore. But and then we take that and it's $1 per card. You can buy as many cards as you want. And we sort it before the classes and the students. Some students got like 10 of them. It was crazy. There's a lot of kisses. And Hershey's Kisses, that's why they're called Kiss a Grad Goodbye, because we glue the Hershey's Kisses to the cardstock. And then they get a little bittersweet farewell from some of their friends when we deliver them.
Just such a cool little treat, and I love obviously the play on words and everything with that, and it's a little bit of a fundraiser too, right? You make a little bit of
Yeah,
money in the
exactly.
process. Yeah, yeah, it's super cool. I love that. Um, Abby, last thing I want to ask you, the way I end this show every time is with what I call Heart a Teacher. And so it's just an opportunity for you to give a shout out to a teacher. You can do more than one if you want to, but an educator that's made a positive impact on your life, on your educational career, wherever you want to go with it.
All right, I know exactly who I'm gonna pick. My Bio 12 teacher, Mindy Smith. I love her so much. I look up to her so much. Bio 12 was my best class ever. Yes, it's a bit of a harder class, but it was so much fun. I enjoyed it so much, all because of her. Like, she made that class so interesting, just the way she taught, and you can tell when someone genuinely cares about your students. And I love when I go into her classroom just to tell her, like, "Hey, I got a car. Hey, I got a job. Hey, I'm having a good day. I got a 92 on my math test." Every morning, I'm in her classroom telling her something, and every time she sees me, "Hey, hon, how are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, it just brightens up my day." And she has started to become more involved in our school because she is a newer teacher here. She's only been here for maybe 3 or 4 years, maybe 2 or 3, and she's actually now the teacher advisor for the girls' rugby team. That was so awesome to me, 'cause, Mindy Smith and my, head coach, I love my coach so much, Katie Hunter, they work together a little bit because she's the head coach and she's a teacher advisor, and I saw them both together for the first time ever, and they're both a little on the shorter side, they're both ginger, and it was crazy seeing the 2 women that I look up the most just having a conversation. I'm like, "Hey, guys!" It was awesome, but yeah, she has been my favorite teacher ever since she started her career here at KV, and that will never change. She's just so awesome, so welcoming, and I look up to her so, so very much.
That's so cool. That just makes my heart happy listening to you and just the admiration and respect that you have for her. And it just goes back to the foundation of it's about relationships, right? Um, And if you have a relationship with that teacher, it makes it so much more enjoyable to be in their classroom, no matter what the subject is, right? Whether it's biology, whether it's math, whether it's English, things that you like or maybe quote unquote don't like, right? But if you have a positive rapport with that educator, it makes all the difference in the world because you look forward to going to her classroom, right?
Exactly. I want to impress her. I wanted to do very well in biology. I studied so hard for that class. I got 103% on the hardest test of the year. And I was so proud to see her little smiley face on my paper. I was so proud of that. And I felt how proud she was of me. And I'm very glad that next year, I hope, unless it changes, she'll be my teacher again. And I'm just already looking forward to next school year to having my favorite teacher again.
So awesome. So awesome. Well, Abby, you are an absolute rock star. I can't thank you enough for making the time in your crazy busy schedule between sports and Renaissance and two jobs and school and all the things. Thank you for making the time to be on the show. I will be there in November for a student leadership event. And so I am beyond excited to get to see you in person along with your classmates and Miss Wright and Miss Falcons. And congratulations again on being a Diamond School of Distinction. That's a big, big, big deal. I wish that you were able to join us this summer at the conference, but that's okay. Miss Wright will be there, and so we'll give her the award, and so you'll get to see it soon enough. But like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing you and all your friends in November, and just keep doing what you're doing because you're making the world a better place.
Thank you. I can't wait for November. I'm so excited. Thank you for having me. I
We'll
really
see you soon.
appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Absolutely.